Well, I'm Robert Gunn, and I've been a member of Hyde Park Baptist Church for 38 years. We felt called to accept a challenge by our own IMB to take the gospel to an unreached, unengaged tribe in southern Sudan, and they're called the Toposa tribe. It was an absolute call of God on my life. Jane and I have been involved in missions literally around the world, enjoyed every bit of it. There's many more beautiful places, but you know, if God has a place for you to go, that's what you do, and that's where your joy is. But last May, I was working with the pastor John Wanyonyi, and he himself is a missionary from a very poor church in Nairobi, Kenya. And he and I had walked to a chief's boma. It's like a little village. And there was the chief sitting with a proclaimer in his lap. A proclaimer is a black recorder that has the gospel on it. And I told you that they don't have the gospel, but in the Turkana language, a similar language, we have the New Testament. And every evening when he comes home from the fields, he plays that as loud as he can. And each morning, he wakes everyone up with that. And the gospel is just being sown into his life. And as a result of that meeting that day, I had the blessing of visiting with he and 7 of his elders. All of them, the chief and 7 elders, invited Christ into their lives. We presented 860 gospel presentations, individual presentations. 298 people received the Lord. A new church was planted. It's a Baptist church. And then we also strengthened the Baptist church there in Kapota, our base of operations where we stay. So we first had the invitation from our own IMB, would you reach this unreached people group? And from there, it's just been being obedient to the calling. For me, it's an answer to a happening in my life when I was a kid. I used to go to church camp every year. By Thursday evening, I'd be worn out enough that I'd start listening to God. And without exception, I would always recommit my life. And always in the back of my mind, I had it that I would probably go to Africa. And I will never forget the first day I set foot in Africa. I really felt like I was home. I've known all along that's what God wants me to do. And Jane and I plan to do that as long as God will provide health and give us that opportunity. We've seen many, many people go with us that have had changed lives. Not everyone's called in to do this on somewhat of a full-time basis like we are, but everyone is called to do something with their lives to fulfill the Great Commission, whether it's in our own church, in our own city, our own county, state, in the United States of America, or the uttermost parts of the world.